In this new lesson, we're going to be working on the Minnesota benchmarks of I can share ideas with others, I can use art vocabulary and techniques, I can talk about my choices, and I can compare and contrast artwork made in different times and places. Well, we're going to start out by taking a look at this painting by the artist El Greco, and the painting is titled View of Toledo. First of all, what do you notice? Yeah, it's a city, so it would be called a cityscape, and it's surrounded by countryside. Yeah, it's really dark. Looks like there could be a nasty storm coming. You can see by these dark clouds right here, and these bright whites as though there's light flashing someplace off in the distance. Yeah, it's also really dark in the city. If you take a look at those buildings, I don't see really any lights on, except for like maybe there's one right here. Isn't that really odd? What else? Looks really grubby, doesn't it? Very dirty, almost kind of graveyard-like. Yeah, and murky water. How about what does it remind you of? Yeah, I guess I kind of already said that. It reminds me of a graveyard because it's so still. How does it make you feel when you look at this? What kind of feelings do you have in your tummy? Or imagine you're one of these little people, one of these little dots walking down this pathway up to the city. How would you feel if you were out there or out there by yourself walking at this time? I agree. I'd feel pretty spooked, pretty creeped out. Look at that murky river down below. Oh yeah, pretty creepy. Maybe any questions that you have? Yeah. One thing kind of interesting about this, when the artist El Greco painted it, he wasn't really trying to paint the city exactly how it looked, but he was trying to paint how he felt about the city. There was something going on in this city that he didn't like, and so he chose to make it kind of spooky like this to show how he felt. Well, one reason El Greco's painting looks so spooky is because he used dark colors. And in these two photographs, I have very similar forests. And this one is light and bright, and it just looks like so much fun to go walking through, and I can imagine the birds that I'd hear twittering. But when I look at this forest, no thank you. I am not going in there. That looks really, really, really spooky. Not even with a flashlight couldn't get me. Well, in this project, you're going to be learning about the element of art value, if you can say that, value. It refers to the lightness or darkness of a color. And in this lesson, we're going to be practicing making colors lighter and darker. So here I have some value scales. Here's white that I've made darker by adding more and more black. And any color you can make darker by adding black, or even adding its complementary color too, which we'll learn about. Well, the second way to make artwork look spooky is to use spooky imagery. So imagery has to do with images or pictures like cat eyes or full moons or bats. All those are pretty spooky things. Well, I'm going to stop the lesson here and you can move on to the next step.